Well, my friends, this isn't the trail, nor is it the time of day that I had planned on starting this trip. And I'm minus one trail partner. So in this installment of Forest Adventures with Scott, I am doing an overnighter on the Appalachian Trail near McAfee's Knob, the most photographed spot on the Appalachian Trail. This trip was planned to be my first backpacking trip with my dog, and we were going to be way farther south in the highlands of Virginia, doing a southbound route towards Damascus. But unfortunately, my sweet dog Benji was attacked at the dog park yesterday. He's going to be okay, but he got into a dog fight with an aggressive dog that took a couple chunks out of his neck, as well as the pad on one of his feet. So I made the decision not to bring him, let him heal for a few days. And I also decided to do this section of the trail as opposed to that. And basically because, I'm getting a late start, guys, because of all this that happened. But I decided to go somewhere within 2 hours of my home as opposed to 3.5. So that is why we are doing this section. Now, I have hiked and backpacked this section before. It's been many, many years. So I'm excited to see it again. This is going to be one of many vistas on this hike. So this is the Catawba Vista. That's the Catawba Valley down there. And not sure if you can tell in the pictures, but there are some turning of the leaves. I wouldn't consider this peak weekend, but really pretty nonetheless. If you can hear that clanging, that is my trowel. I like to put that on the outside of my pack when I'm solo hiking and backpacking, just to warn the wildlife that I'm coming. Something else kind of interesting about this stretch of trail is there's actually a fire road that parallels this section of the AT. I think it was built to enforce camping in the wrong places, but I hear a lot of people on that section of trail today. So I'm almost thinking that it probably makes for a wider, easier grade section of trail. So if you had a big group and you had kids and you wanted to see that beautiful sunset, sunrise on McAfee's Knob, probably an easy stretch to go, 3.5 miles. Anyway, interesting point. There is something I wish I had have done when I made the decision not to bring Benji. So I should have repacked my pack, because I brought gear, or I packed gear that was older and bulkier and heavier. And the reason I did that is because I wanted him to be warm. I didn't want to worry about him puncturing my new REI Helix sleeping pad. So I brought my old Thermarest. And when I say old, I mean old. And I also brought my old backpacking tent that weighs a pound more than the one I've been testing, the Big Agnes. Those three things. I did remember to pull the dog food out of the pack, and I also remembered to bring a little bit less water. All right, I'm at the top, and none too soon. I need some electrolytes. My left quad, my right quad is starting to cramp, and I'm getting a slight bit of a headache. But yeah, I'm up here. So there are people up here, and I'm not gonna get too crazy with the filmmaking, but right there is where we're heading. I've never been backpacking. It's kind of weird. Like, I've been on so many hikes, so many like bike trips. I've been bike packing. How old are you? I'm 18. Oh, okay. Well, I don't think I went on my first backpacking trip till I was like 24. Well, I've been. Oh, did you? Wow. Sweet. Just come this way, right along the edge. Okay. You can walk in over there. But I've been into cycling and mountain biking. All right, my friends, I have made it to the top of McAfee's Knob. It's about 5 o'clock. The wind has picked up and the temperature has dropped. But I met a nice young couple over there. We had a snack and chatted for a little bit, but I need to turn back down the way that I came so I can set up camp for the night. But it is absolutely gorgeous up here. I'm gonna watch my step. This is a very dangerous spot, but this is, I don't know if I got a good picture of it or whatever, but it is the most photographed spot on the Appalachian Trail. Just absolutely gorgeous out there. Anyway, let me see if I can get a picture. So I dropped my phone and I found out that I cracked the screen, and I can get video and photos in this direction, like when you spin it around, but not in that direction. Oh, okay, I guess it's time for a new phone. But yeah, I was just sitting there holding it, looking at my coordinates and everything, and flipped over and landed on a rock. So that's always fun. I didn't stay at the summit for the sunrise, but sunset, but I'm getting a beautiful one right here. Just walking through the woods, the color of the leaves, and it's just gorgeous. But I didn't want to set up my camp in the dark, and I didn't want to fix dinner in the dark. So I'm probably about a quarter mile to the shelter, and that's where I'm going to camp. See you there. All right, my friends. I have got my tent set up here. There is a family staying in the shelter tonight, so I didn't want to impose there, but I was whipped. Didn't want to walk another step. So I found a flat piece of ground, or semi-flat piece of ground, set up my tent. I'm gonna go over here and ask if it's all right if I cook my meal at the picnic table, chit chat for a little while, and I'm gonna crawl in that tent, and by 8 o'clock I'll probably be able to sleep. Anyway, let's eat. All right, my friends, I have had dinner. I didn't film any of that. I was sitting there talking with the people staying in the shelter there and getting to know a little bit about them and their story. And I had a Mountain House beef stew, and it was actually really good. I hadn't had a Mountain House meal in quite a while. Ate all 2 servings. And so yeah, now I'm just going to, I was thinking about reading a little bit, but I actually downloaded a movie on Netflix before I left the house, so I may watch that new Keira Knightley movie about being on a yacht or something. I don't know. But anyway, I will see you in the morning bright and early, and I hope everybody has a great night. Cheers. Good morning, welcome back. I slept decent last night. I was wishing I had my newer sleeping pad. It would have been a little more comfortable. But as you can see, I'm kind of on, you might not be able to tell, but I'm on a little bit of an incline. But I stayed warm, and that was the key. It didn't get super cold, but as you can see this morning, it's a little chilly. Got my puffy on, got my beanie on. But anyway, fixed me a cup of coffee, and I'm gonna pack up here in the next few minutes. Water is scarce on the trail, so I don't have enough to make my oatmeal that I brought, but I do have a bar that'll get me back to the trailhead. If I do run into a water source between there and here, I may fix me a little something, but if not, that's gonna be it for this video. And I always appreciate you tuning in. Hope you enjoy the content, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Beautiful sunrise coming up over the mountain right there. Just had to plug that in. I love the way sunlight reflects off the foliage. Hello. Finished strong.